Hello my friends, and welcome to a nice calm stroll in the forest. I'm so used to being in danger. It's nice to be just safe for once, you know? I just want to have a relaxing— What is that? Oh boy, he looks angry. Look at those eyes. What can we do? I have no sword, no shield, nothing. Oh wait. Thankfully, I caught a Garagemon. Go get him, Fluffy. Ah, yes, because of him, I am safe from destruction. Welcome to the very first episode of Garagemon. I'm so excited to be able to do this with you guys. This is going to be the first game build I've done on my channel, and I hope you guys enjoy it and that it gives you ideas for your own games. Without further ado, let's get into it. To begin, I called up a person node on, and I have a left stick up and down node on connected to the forward-backward port. We're going to go into the settings of this person. It's going to be basically our camera, so we want to turn it invisible, not destructible, not destructive. And speaking of the camera, here is my camera here. I have the right stick hooked up left and right for the horizontal movement, up and down for the vertical movement. Just a pretty standard setup. We need to start off by making our Garageball, which we're going to be using somewhat like a Pokeball. So let's get some space. We're going to be using a rotating object for this, so under special objects, rotating sphere. Just like you'd expect a Pokeball to turn, our Garageball will as well. We're going to head into the settings. It's going to be visible, solid, and neither of these. We're going to turn the color to black for a certain styling, and we're going to set these to 0.1 each. We are also going to want to change the frame of reference for rotation to either local or camera. I'm going to just make it local. Next, I'm going to be making some textures for this just to make it look nice. Nothing too fancy. So I'm going to call up a texture node on. And of course, it's pretty small down there, so you got to keep track. Make sure that your textures are the same size as your rotating object. All right, let's get to designing this Garageball. Okay, I think that looks nice. We're going to apply that to all the faces except for the Y plus and the Y minus. Since our rotating sphere is already black, we are going to need just one texture to copy here. So we're going to copy that one and get rid of everything and just make it completely yellow. This is going to be the one that's going on bottom, so we're going to set it on the Y minus interface. We are going to connect these textures up to the rotating sphere here, and I like to stack my textures to save room. We have everything set up for our rotating sphere, but we're going to need a way to rotate it. So let's call up a constant. We are going to change this constant to 10, which will determine how fast it rotates, and we're going to hook that up to the x-axis. Next, we're going to need a way to summon this ball so that we can use it, so we are going to use a teleporter. Teleport entrance here. We are going to hook up to this sphere here and head into the settings. Let's make sure to turn it invisible. We are going to be teleporting just the sphere. Remember, this is going to be small, so don't lose track of your Garageball while you're doing this. Perfect. Now we're going to need to use a button press. You can use whichever one you want to summon your character. Let's go ahead and just use ZL. You can use wild pressed to allow people to hold the Garageball in front of them, but it's going to be much easier on us to use on press. Let's connect the button to the teleport object entrance, and now we're able to teleport this one. We just need a place to send it. For our teleport exit, we are going to go ahead and call it up near the person, and we are going to attach it to them. Let's head into the settings of the exit, and we're going to turn this one invisible as well. We're going to reset the physics and set a launch speed for whatever you want. I think 7 works really well. We're going to use the Z plus direction for the launch, and also set the connection point to Z minus on the person. Now we should be able to test out our very first Garageball throw. Here we go. Perfect. Whenever we press the ZL button, the Garageball comes out, and just like that, it's working great. However, something's still a little amiss here. Usually the ball is supposed to come back to you after you summon your monster, but it's not happening, so in order to do this, we're actually going to use an attract object under launch destroy attract. We're going to call this one up, and we're going to change the settings in here. Keep center connection. We're going to want to attract the sphere. which means you can't really use spheres in your level, otherwise you'll attract them as well. Just keep that in mind. We're going to change the size of the attract object nodon to be 4.4 for the X and the Z values. We need a little bit of space because we're launching it out there. And also we're going to change the Y to the size of the person, 1.2. Alright, there we go. We have the attract object nodon. Let's go ahead and connect it up to the person. And it's much easier to work if you actually move this one off so you don't accidentally click it all the time. So we'll move this one down here. Let's see what it looks like in action. So we're going to launch it now. There we go. Alright. It's going right into us though, but still exactly what we wanted. The force may be a little too powerful though. To change the force of the attract object, we're going to want to call up a constant nodon, and we're going to want to cut the force in half so it's not quite so powerful. I'm going to make it 0.5, then connect it to the attract object and see what happens now. Alright, now we have some space to work with. We're also going to change the settings of the rotating object. We're going to change the material to bouncy so that it bounces back at us. Let's see what it looks like in action. There we go. Now we're starting to get somewhere. This is looking much more like a Pokeball. We're going to need to do something with this ball when it comes back to us though. Otherwise it's just gonna hit us. We're going to want to teleport the ball away when it comes back at us so it doesn't hit us and stay in the way. So let's go ahead and call up a touch sensor. Let's change the settings of the touch sensor to on touch. We're only going to check for the sphere. Set the size of your touch sensor to 0.5 by 1.2, which is the height of the person, by 0.5. If you have it too big, we're going to teleport out on accident. Let's go ahead and hook this up to our person. We're going to move it off to the side here towards the Garageball. Let's go ahead and copy teleporter A, and we're going to move it over to by the touch sensor. We're going into the settings, and we're going to change it to teleporter B. Connect that up to the touch sensor and then also to the rotating object, which is our Garageball. Now when we go back into the game and we throw our Garageball, it comes back to us and it teleports away perfectly. As for the object exit, you're going to want to put it somewhere that you're not going to find it in the game. You're going to have to find a place where you can put it out of the way. I'm just going to set it over here for now. We don't want it to disappear off the map, otherwise you can just use it once. Unless you only want it to be single use, then that's fine. Alright, let's see how it looks. So we're gonna throw our Garageball, it comes back, and then it teleports out just like that. Perfect, just what we wanted. Find some more space, and we're going to be making our Garage Monster now. Actually, thankfully, we can just call up a fancy object, and our very first Garage Monster is going to be none other than the Fluff Ball itself. And in order to make the Fluff Ball animate, we are going to call up a person. This person is going to be basically wearing the Fluff Ball suit and allowing the Fluff Ball to move like a person. Connect the Fluff Ball to the fancy object. If you saw my tutorial on this, you'll notice how simple it is. Just turn him invisible and take note of his Y size. So we're going to size him down to about 1.3, and that means the Fluff Ball needs to be just 0.1 under that on the Y size. So we're also going to take the solid off of the Fluff Ball so it'll be visible and movable as well, and we want it to be connected center to the person. This will allow us to walk around with the person. We're going to need a way to get this to teleport where our ball ends up, so we are going to use a teleport object entrance and switch the ID to C. We are also going to teleport just the person and the Fluff Ball for good measure, turn it invisible, and everything else should be good. We need to have this teleporter activate after we throw our Garage Ball, so we need to add a timer to give us a little bit of time. We're going to use 0.7 as the amount of time we wait. There we go, and we're going to hook up the same button, ZL, or whichever one you're using, so that when we press it, we get 0.7 and then it teleports. Connect this one up to the person. If you want to control the Fluff Ball, you're going to need to use the D-pad setup because we already are using the left and right sticks. If you aren't sure on how to set it up, basically you go into any button and then you can click into this one here. We're going to plug the up button directly into the forward-backward port, we're going to plug the down button into an inversion nodon and then plug it into the same port. Then we're going to have the right go into left right, and then left is going to be into the inversion, then into the port as well. This will allow us to control our Garagemon, and we could stop people from controlling it early if we want to add a flag nodon. However, it won't be necessary for this tutorial or even for our game. We'll just put them somewhere people can't use them. Let's go ahead and grab an A button real quick, and we're going to use this for the jump as well. As for where we're going to put our Garagemon, it can't be summoned in the same way as the Garageball, so we're going to need it to be a little bit of a distance in front of us. For that, we're going to need to call up a simple box object, connect it to the person. For the settings of the box, we're going to turn everything off except movable. We're going to set the connection point to Z plus to Z minus. Then we're going to set the X and the Y sizes for thin as possible. Let's go to 0.1, 0.1, and we'll make the Z 1.5. So this will be a narrow and long box. This box is going to give us a place to attach a teleporter, which will allow us to summon our Garagemon in the right place. Let's go ahead and copy this teleporter here, this exit, and connect it to the end of this one. In the settings, we're going to have it reset with a launch speed of 0. We want it to stay in the place where we summon it. And Z minus is perfectly fine. Launch direction doesn't really matter too much. I like to go up just so if it shoots in any direction, it doesn't move to the side at all. And we can change it to sphere because our Garagemon's kind of spherical. Let's test out what we've got. So we throw the ball and boom, there's our fluff ball. Now I wanted to show him off, so I made him kind of extra big for this part. However, we're gonna size him down in order to add the finishing touches, which will make this look so much better. Let's go ahead and size our person down to 0.5 on the y-axis, and that means that we're going to need the fluff ball down to 0.4. You'll be amazed how much the effects actually add to this. If you're making a similar game, definitely want to use them. We have quite a few choices here. I think I like the party popper, and we can just actually copy this if we want to use a different effect and change it in here. I like the light as well, and we could add a whole bunch of different ones as well as sounds. You want to make sure in the settings we're going to change it to world. Turn this part invisible, and now you can actually adjust the size. So for all of your effects, change it to world and adjust the size through here, then copy them to that invisible box. To trigger the effects, we're going to use the same setup we had for making the teleporter work. We need the same button we're using to launch our ball as well as a timer. Connect those up. For the timer settings, let's go ahead and change it to 0.7 just like we had in the other location, and we want to continue this output for as long as you want the effects to go on. We're going to use 0.1. This is how you can get the light effect to work as well. You can use a wormhole nodon if you're running low on nodons and making something similar. Let's go ahead and trigger the party popper and the light and also some sound effect. I added the Garageball sound vanished to this one, and then I have the kind of Garagemon cry as strong select. You know how Pokemon have the cries, so that's the Garagemon cry for this guy. The time has finally come, my friends, to test it out. Here we go. We can move wherever we want with the joysticks, then press ZL to summon it with the Garageball. There is our Garagemon. We can move somewhere else if we want to. Do it again, and of course we can use the D-pad to even control it, which is a nice bonus. I'd say we're off to a good start in this Garagemon adventure. Thank you for coming on this Garagemon adventure with me. If you've enjoyed the content, remember to leave a like down below. That'll be your vote for seeing more content like this in the future. Until next time, happy catching, and God bless.